Alright everybody, welcome back for another YouTube video. I know I haven't posted a lot of videos over the last, year, I guess. I posted a lot last year in 2021, but I haven't posted a lot this year. So, I'm back. I'm hopefully going to start doing this more often, but we'll see. So today we're doing wheels and tires because this is what my wheels currently look like. And I don't mean we're just cleaning wheels and tires. I mean, we're actually customizing them. The reason being, like I said, they look like this. And even when they're clean, I don't like the silver on silver look because they're two different. I don't know if you can see this on camera. Well, there we go. So that right there is the actual color of the wheel. That right there is the actual color of the car. Ignore the fact that the paint is messed up. So they're like two completely different silvers. So I think it looks dumb. If it was like silver on gray or gray on silver or silver on brown, silver on blue, that's one thing, but doing silver on silver just looks dumb. So I've already taken both back wheels off. There's one and there's two, and they're over in the yard. One is already partially through. I just started painting this one. So this one's already pretty much done. I just have to put the clear coat on it and then toss it back on the car. This is what the wheel looks like when it's clean. So we're about to get started on painting this. Okay, so first things first, we're going to take index cards and we're going to place them around the rim, between the rim and the tire, just to make sure that the tire doesn't get any paint on it. I guess it's not really required that you do this, but I do it just to make sure that my tire stays one color and it's not got paint all over it. So let's start with that. So you just tuck them in to this little groove right here, and then they just kind of sit there. And then you want to make sure that they overlap a little bit. And just like that, we're ready for paint. Besides, I have to cover up the valve core, or the air valve. So I don't want to get paint on that. On my last car, on the Civic, I just painted over it because I didn't care. But this one actually has a TPMS sensor, so I have to make sure that I don't paint over that. So I'm just gonna put a little piece of tape over that, and then we'll get started on painting. Alright, so now that the valve is covered, the TPMS sensor stem, it's time to start painting. So I'm just using Rust Oleum. Let's see if I can get this all on camera. I'm just using Rust Oleum Gloss Black. It's really just called black. But yeah, I'm using Gloss Black, and then for the clear coat, it's just Gloss Clear. So I'm going to get started on this. The first coat you don't want to be super, super thick. You just want it to be kind of there as a bonding coat, so that way the next coat can actually stick to it. And I do about 3 coats of paint, and I'll show you in between each coat why I do 3 coats. Okay, now that I'm done with the first coat, so it's still drying, but as you can see, it's still kind of like silver, and that's because I just do a really, really thin coat, so that way it'll dry quick, and so that way the paint has something to stick to. And it's better to do a lot of thin coats than one thick coat, because then you have paint that runs, and it spots, and it doesn't look good. This is coat 1. I'll do a second coat that's a little bit thicker, but it's still super, super thin. And I'll do one more thick coat, and I'll show you guys when I do it. It's not like I just sit here and I just spray and just make a super thick coat. It's still a pretty fast back and forth. It's just I go over it multiple times to make sure that I get everything covered. Alright, so now that this coat has dried for a little bit, it's time for the second coat. So the second coat, like I said, it's going to be a little bit thicker, but not super thick so that it runs. So let's go get started on that second coat. Alright, so now that the second coat is done, let me show y'all what it looks like. So as you can see, there's still some spots that are silver, but there's some spots that are completely black. So I just try and get the whole surface, the face, to be black, and then I'll get down inside of there and get those to be black in just a minute. I went ahead and already got these lug nut holes black. Those I don't really care too much if they're perfectly black, but I just try and make them black so that they match the rest of the wheel. Alright, so this second coat has dried now. It's time for the third coat. So like I said, this third coat is going to be thicker than the other ones were, and it's to make sure that I get pretty much all of that silver gone. If I have to do some touch-up work, that's fine, but I have to make sure that I get pretty much all of that silver gone. So let's get started. Alright, so the third coat is applied. I'm just going to wait for that to dry, and then I'll make sure that I got all of the silver covered. And then once I do that, it'll be ready for the first layer of clear coat. Alright, so I already put the first layer of clear coat on, and as you can see, it's a little bit duller than the black was. And again, that's just because it's a thin coat. I completely forgot to get it on video, but first layer of clear coat is already on. So it'll be 2 thin coats and then 1 thick coat. Alright, so now that we've finished the first coat, or the second coat of clear coat, we're going to go for a third coat. And this one's going to be a bit thicker than the other 2 were. And this one is to make sure that we get that gloss look and the entire thing is covered. Now that it's sprayed, we can just start taking the index cards off. We're going to let this dry in the sun for a couple of minutes, and then once it's done drying in the sun for a little bit, we're just going to move it into the shade, and we're going to color in the lettering. Alright, so just as a little bonus thing that I'm going to do, which a lot of people don't want to do because it's just really, really tedious, is I'm going to color in all of the letters. So they're just more visible. Like I said, a lot of people don't do it. It's not going to affect your tire at all. It's not going to damage it. It's just something that I like to do because it makes the lettering more visible. And I didn't do this on the Civic, and the reason why is I had like the cheapest tires on it that I could find, just because it didn't need expensive tires. But this car I have Falcons on, so I like to color in these ones because they're a little bit more expensive, they're a little bit nicer, and I want people to know that I pay good money for my tires. Alright, so now that the wheel is painted, we're going to put it back on the car. Now we can put this wheel back on. It's not recommended, but if you want to put your feet under the wheel to just help you get it on and positioned properly. And then you just want to put your foot like right here, just on the tire, not on the actual wheel. And then you can be able to thread on your lug nuts. And I'm eventually going to replace these wheels with aftermarket wheels, but I don't have the money for that right now. So for right now, I'm just going to paint them black. And mine are 21 millimeter, so I'm just going to put this on there like that. I'm just going to repeat that process. You always make sure you tighten down your lug nuts in a starch pattern. So I went 1, 2, so next time I'm going to go over here to 3. And then this one's going to be 4. Snug them up. And then once it's on the ground, we'll use a torque wrench. We'll make sure they're all torqued to spec. Some cars you can just Google search and see what the torque is for the wheels. Some cars say it in the user manual. Yeah. Alright everyone, so I finished painting the rims and the center caps. I'm actually going to show you this one so I don't drop my phone down that drain. So I painted the center caps as well, so that way it's just completely black. I didn't paint the lugs like I did on my Civic, but I didn't like the black lugs on the Civic. So I've gotten the back done, I got the front done, I got the other side done. Let me walk around and show you. We got the back over here. We got the front over here. So all in all, I think it looks pretty good. I like the white lettering on the tires, on the black rims. And so, yeah, I am in fact at Walmart filming the rest of this because it got dark, as you can see. So I needed a light, so I came up here to Walmart, and I'm filming here. So that way you guys can be able to actually see everything. But yeah, that's all for this video. Next video will probably, that you guys see this car at least, will probably be either underglow or the exhaust manifold. I have to replace that to get inspection. I have LED underglow lights hopefully soon, and then I just have to get a switch for the lights so that way I can install those. But yeah, after that's done, I'll have a pretty sick car at that point. But yeah, these wheels transform the look of your vehicle, or my vehicle. If you want to transform the look of yours, it's super simple. Just clean the wheels. Make sure you put index cards in that lip of the tire so that way you don't get paint on the tire. Put paint. I do 3 coats, thin, thick. Then 2 or 3 coats of not primer, clear coat, and that's again 2 coats of thin, 1 coat of thick, or just a thin coat and then a thick coat. And yeah, make sure you torque down those wheels when you put them back on. Mine were 90 foot-pounds. You can find yours in the user manual or online. So yeah, y'all have a nice day.